Welcome back, everybody, to another Divi project blog. This one's going to go over the rundown on Divi's specialized smart contracts and some unique magic in the Divi blockchain. So here we go. Let's go over it. Specialized smart contracts. What is it and why are we talking about it now? So here we go. The introduction. I want to start by asking you a couple of intro perspective questions. How do you learn best? Once you think about that question, then ask yourself, who can you trust to have learned something better than you? Let me propose a learning hierarchy as a concept. This isn't pop psychology, it is just a model I tend to use, which helps me understand if someone is speaking from full knowledge and experience, or if I'm speaking with someone who has a terse understanding of a concept. Now, most people will learn something by reading about it, or maybe by watching a video on it. The great majority of learning is done this way. It's extremely efficient and can be done by almost anyone with basic reading skills. This is likely to be the lowest effort required to learn something. And frankly, in many cases, this is limited to tweet or headline readings. It is a pretty big problem. Now, it's not really learning, it's just making yourself comfortable. Now, higher on the ladder are people who will ask questions about the material and dive down for answers, which will usually also be read or seen in a learning platform. Further than this, someone might already have significant expertise in a similar field and have also done a deep dive into the subject, which allows them to have a greater understanding of the subject than someone armed with only unrelated knowledge. And at the final step on this ladder, there may be someone with knowledge in multiple related fields, but who also done work in the present subject, solved problems, performed logical derivatives, or just took something apart and put it back together in a better condition. Now, who do you trust to fix your car? Someone who has only read about cars in a book, or do you trust someone who has read about every aspect of a car, driven cars, and taken apart a car and put it back together in a better way? Now, why am I talking about this? Well, that's because the Divi blockchain is being rebuilt by someone who has strong knowledge in multiple related fields, who has dived deep into mathematics, cryptography, and blockchain, and who has gone into our code base, taken it apart, and put it back together again in a fair, improved fashion. And the result is having one of the cleanest and extensible blockchain code bases in the market, as well as being able to provide new features that don't exist elsewhere. Now, here enters specialized smart contracts, otherwise known as SSCs, on the Divi blockchain. So yes, exciting. That was a great intro. Now, what is specialized smart contracts? Well, Divi was originally just a couple of forks away from Bitcoin and nothing more. Now it is truly unique and clean. Fundamentally, many Bitcoin features are laden into the Divi core. Some always have been. Bitcoin already has basic scripting capabilities, which are incomplete. Unlike, for example, Solidity, the programming language used to create smart contracts, which is Turing complete. Most commonly in practice, this means that the Bitcoin scripting language cannot perform loops or recursions, as well as a few other things. Thus, even though the extremely complicated scripting language has been made easier with miniscript, programming them in still is extremely difficult for basic programmers, and using them is almost impossible for your average crypto enthusiast. Now, the problem with script addresses is that even if they are very flexible, they are also harder to use than regular addresses because you need to back up the scripts in a similar way that you would need to back up the private keys in a regular wallet, among many other things that also makes them difficult to use. If now you had to back up something or some stuff other than your seed, then it would make it difficult for the general crypto using public and result in loss of funds. Now, it's not the Divi way. Now, the solution for making this easier on Divi is to provide a skeletal structure for some basic scripts that function on the Divi blockchain that anyone can use. Thus, specialized smart contracts are Divi developed templates for using script addresses. This way, users can have smart contract capabilities without needing to know about complicated script addresses. In Divi, we have three examples: vaults, escrow, and subscriptions. Now, examples of specialized smart contracts. Well, here we have vaults. Vaults were the first example of the Divi specialized smart contract. Vaults can be set up manually or using Divi Labs one-click technology. And as a result, you get cold wallet security while being able to earn as if you were running a hot wallet. Now, escrow is simply a concept. If Alice wants to pay Bob, then Bob will want assurance that the money is coming. Without crypto, Alice and Bob would have to ask Charlie, whom they both trust, to hold the money with crypto, they don't need to trust anyone. Alice puts the funds in a script address with conditions for release. Now, Bob can then see that the funds are there, and he just needs to perform the service or give Alice the thing she wants. Upon the conditions being met, Alice signals the script to release the funds into the Bob's control. So that is what escrow is. Now, the third way is subscriptions. Subscriptions are similar. Alice hires Bob to provide website services. She runs a script to put funds in each of the X script addresses, which are cryptographically linked. She gives Bob a read access to them so he can see all of the funds are lined up for the contract length. And each month, for example, funds are released to Bob so he can continue providing his service. So that's how the subscriptions are being added in. And this is the use case of these specialized smart contracts. Now, there are a lot of questions that immediately come to mind about these features, like what if Alice later hates Bob's work? Well, these will be dealt with in future articles, but for now, these are just examples of how it works for subscriptions, escrow, and vaults. But why now are we implementing this? Well, if Bitcoin already had scripting functionality, why couldn't these features have been delivered earlier? Answer, masternodes. So that was why we couldn't have them earlier. With the masternode network in place, the entire ecosystem has been prone to network instability in the form of unintended forking, which, by the way, has also improved greatly since the blockchain mechanics smooth out the codebase. But eliminating most of the risk concerning forking is required because if people perform escrow or subscription transactions and a long-lived fork happens, it will be very difficult to understand what happens to the funds, and better to eliminate the problem altogether than offer these features. So that's why the vaults are replacing the masternodes. Now, vaults, however, were launched before the sunset of masternodes. In fact, they have been out for years. It was felt that recovering from a potential fork with a vault in place was a far lower risk than having a script-based addressing holding people's funds. Thus, we were able to release the vaults, but preferred to wait until masternodes were not a risk factor to the network for more specialized smart contracts to come on the scene. Now we have an example case of Alice, Bob, and the power of Divi specialized smart contracts. Now, in a world where blockchain technology is swiftly evolving, Divi's blockchain unveils its state-of-the-art Divi specialized smart contracts. With the revolutionary vaults leading the way, thanks to the Divi's one-click technology, Alice, an enthusiastic crypto trader, can effortlessly set up a vault, enjoying this safety akin to a cold wallet while reaping the benefits of a hot wallet. The story of Alice's transactional journey within the crypto space becomes even more captivating when she encounters Bob, a service provider. In traditional finance settings, they would need to involve a trusted third party, Charlie, the escrow agent, to hold the funds, creating an extra layer of complications, trust, and fees. Alice and Bob can now use the Divi Smart Escrow to toss their archaic model aside, so we don't need Charlie anymore. Now, in this straightforward process, Alice locks the funds on Divi's blockchain using a Divi Smart Escrow contract set with predetermined conditions for release, and Bob can easily verify the funds and know they are kept secure, giving him the confidence to deliver the agreed service or item to Alice. Now, once Bob fulfills Alice's request, Alice triggers the Divi Smart Escrow contract, releasing the funds directly into Bob's control, and Alice and Bob never need to trust one another, and certainly don't need Charlie, the escrow agent, to do it. Now, the plot thickens as Alice decides to employ Bob for website services on a long-term basis. Divi Smart Subscriptions is employed. Alice prepares a Divi Smart subscription to deposit funds into various script addresses that are cryptographically linked. And like before, Bob can easily verify that the funds are there and know that they are kept secure, giving him the confidence to deliver services and get paid on the agreed upon schedule. Now, no escrow agent or third-party application is needed for this. And each month, as part of a well-oiled machine, the Divi Smart subscription contract dispenses the funds to Bob, ensuring he continues to provide unhindered services, and the use of subscription-based smart contracts mitigates any risks, encouraging a seamless relationship between Alice and Bob. And naturally, one might wonder, what if Alice becomes dissatisfied with Bob's work? These potential difficulty promises to make Alice and Bob's journey even more enthralling, and promising future stories filled with intrigue and exploring uncharted territories in the realm of Divi's smart contract. And so stay tuned for more gripping tales of Alice and Bob as we get more articles on Divi 3.0 and everything to come with it. But I loved it. Thank you guys for this article explaining smart contracts. And yeah, It's going to have the vaults you already have, escrow, and subscriptions. So, so this is like everything's coming together with all of this. Like Divi has always been like on the next part of the journey was to get on the B2B side of businesses, and like in Nick's recent talks and everything saying like we're not going for the small businesses, we're going for the big guys out there. And oh yeah, so like having this in place, subscription based for companies that utilize that in their companies, whatever they do with it, and also the escrow side of it, it's like just dispensing the funds, and then vaulting technology as well. It's just, yeah, I'm excited for Divi. So yeah, no need to worry about the price right now. Again, we're still in the sideways market. Bull run's almost here, and then Divi will definitely surprise everyone when all these like the marketing truly comes into place, because like you're not going to be using those funds now for it because there's no point. But yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, this was a great article read through. If you guys enjoyed it, smash that thumbs up for me, subscribe to the channel, and until next time, the Crypto Sherpa is out.